So today we are going to be doing something a little special. We're doing Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3 all at the same time with a randomizer that changes which game I'm currently playing in random intervals of time. So I have the minimum setting set to 30 seconds. So the minimum amount of time I can be playing a game is for 30 seconds. But then after 30 seconds, there is a random chance that it'll switch between, I'm currently on DMC 2, it'll either switch to DMC 1 or DMC 3. Just like it just did. Perfect timing, thank you, Shuffler. The maximum amount of time I can be playing one game is 90 seconds. So at least every 90 seconds, it'll switch to a different game. My goal is to complete all 3 games. I could turn it off for certain games. So like if I beat DMC 1, I could turn off the shuffling so it doesn't go to DMC 1 anymore. And then it'll just go between like 2 and 3, for example. And the goal is to beat all 3 DMC games in under 3 hours. That is the goal. So we will start. I'm also going to try to give commentary for all 3 games because I think it'll make it more fun. So I'm going to wait for one more shift and then we'll start with the timer. I'm going to be doing any percent normal for all 3 games, the main category. My world record for all 3 of them back to back is 235. But let's start here. I'll make sure I have turbo mode on. Yes, okay, cool. All right, so this is Devil May Cry 3, and I'm playing on yellow mode because I'm dumb. We want to play on gold mode, very important. This is Devil May Cry 3. The entire run for Devil May Cry 3, except for one mission with a new integration, is going to be all based around one style of play, Real Guard. DMC 3 has a bunch of different styles you can use that all change what the B button does. Real Guard allows you to do that. Allows you to be gaming. Basically, it is a system that is entirely... Never mind. Anyways, so Devil May Cry 1. Starting off on some new game normal. Devil May Cry 1 is a much more slow-paced game. Starts off with an intermission, which is not something that other Devil May Cry games have. Only Devil May Cry 1 has intermissions. We basically just do some traversal here at the start. Anytime you're going uphill, it is faster to jump than it is to walk. It's also faster to jump when just going across straight ground too, but it saves especially more time when going uphill. This first room here has a red orb door. Red orbs are going to be our currency for all 3 games. Red orb doors basically are doors where you need to spend a certain amount of red orbs to be able to open them. This is supposed to be basically a tutorial section where you walk around and grab red orbs from the environment, teaches you how to do some basic movement and stuff. But instead we jump on top of that horse spear and instantly get 45 red orbs, which is enough to open the door. That jump is notoriously difficult though. I made it look really easy, but that's just because I play this game way too much. It's a little shortcut built into the game essentially, so that if you're on replays, you don't have to go walk around everything all the time. DMC 1 probably has the most optional combat encounters of it. Never mind, we're on DMC 2. There aren't many optional combat encounters in any of these games. DMC 1 is the one that has them the most. Thanks, Tyler. The other games, yes, the other games automatically pause when I'm not windowed into them. So this is DMC 2, the Black Sheep. Actually, a banger of a speedrun though. Love this game of speedrun, it's quite fun. Very different than a lot of the other DMC games speedruns, as the control scheme and movement system is very different. We're grabbing some safety orbs up here just so that we can make sure we get enough for what we need. This game has a dedicated roll button, unlike the other games, where in the other games you do context dependent rolls based on your lock on and the jump button. But in this game you can press the B button and you just roll. And rolling gives a lot of iframes. Is also the fastest way to move.
Oh yeah, thanks for the support.
Yo, Candy, for the 25 months.
For 25
Appreciate you.
Months. It's been 2,500 years.
There is a lot going on in DMC 2 under the hood, but when you play it normally... Oh, never mind. We'll get back to that later. Back to DMC 3. This game is all about combat efficiency. And royal guard is easily the best style for combat efficiency, no matter what or what's happening, because not only are you able to do epic releases like that basically instant kill enemies, that's a perfect counter, by the way, but you also can cancel pretty much every animation in the game whenever you want by pressing the block button, which is how I'm able to repeat that same combo over and over again. You'll see very similar combo repeating tech in DMC1 as soon as I get to the basement. The first mission here really like builds the atmosphere and then builds up to having combat at the end. Very different than what you'll see in DMC3, where the game literally instantly starts with combat. It's really important, especially in DMC1, that I get as many S ranks as possible, because S ranks give you more money. You get a bonus at the end of every mission depending on how well you did. That's the case for all 3 games, but it's most important in DMC1 because that game's money route is the most important part of the run. DMC3, we're most just focused on beating the game fast through doing the combo well. First mission down, 4.5 minutes in. That's not so bad. Got my S rank. Let's go. DMC3, the money route is really, really lenient, but we do want an S rank on the first 2 missions. So this release, this counter that I'm doing here, this is a 3-frame window trick, which means the game runs at 60 FPS, so you have like 1/20th of a second to hit the release. You get massive damage if you do. Like that. It's enough to just straight up kill the base enemies. The entire run revolves around royal guard and hitting as many of those releases as possible. You also can just block attacks, and if you perfectly time the block, you build up meter. The little orbs in the top left, one of them is green. That green orb will start shining. Oh my god, I was literally about to release. That green orb will start shining, and when you block stuff, and then it'll make your releases do more damage. So in DMC2 here on mission 1, there's a bit of a secret mechanic called orb manipulation that we were working on getting. By getting certain ranks in a row, you can make it so you drop 10 times the normal amount of orbs from enemies. So we need 2 E ranks, which is basically just starting combat, and then 2 D ranks. And I got one of my D ranks, but now I'm on to DMC1, where we're doing our first combat. So similar to our canceling animations like in DMC3, we're going to be doing our first 2 sword slashes and then keep repeating. We're doing that here by doing a different tech, not royal guard, no royal guard in DMC1, but this is slash canceling. Basically by spinning the left analog stick in a circle, we trick the game into thinking we want to move faster than we normally do, and that'll stop. Ah! Don't shoot me, for not the blicky. That'll stop our animation and allow us to restart the combo without sending the enemy flying away. In DMC1, the ranking system is based primarily on damage taken, time to complete the mission, and orbs collected. We'll always have the best possible rank for time. So we're looking to no damage as much of the game as possible, and to collect orbs while we can. Killing enemies with a higher style rank drops more orbs. That's the case for all of the games. What's up, Walter? Yeah, here's open. But yeah, you can block and release every attack in the game in DMC3. So you just saw there that I blocked the Wrath exploding, and then I used the sword energy there to kill all of those other enemies with 1 release. And we'll see that a lot here on this first mini boss, the Hell Vanguard. We get those bright shiny blocks as a perfect block, and then hopefully we get 1 more release. Oh, I let her parry it. I hit the release though. There we go. Hopefully I didn't take too much damage there. I'll still get the S rank. Yeah, I did. Let's go. S ranking in the first 2 missions of DMC3 lets you buy Stinger, level 2 for mission 3, which is really nice. Stinger is the only move we're gonna buy in the whole game, at least in DMC3, because it makes us go really fast. It's our best form of movement, especially because we have royal guard. We can cancel the recovery animation. That's not good. It's okay, I can afford to take a little bit of damage in this mission and still get the S rank. As long as I collect enough orbs, which I definitely did. What's up, Shiny Pockets? What's up, Russian dude? I got my S rank, let's go. That's great, off to a great start. We also want to get an S rank on mission 2. This one requires no damage though, so we hope the game switches are a little bit more lenient than they were last time. Fortunately, all the combat on this mission is way simpler than the previous one, so not a huge deal. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, I don't think. We're getting Alistair now. Alistair is our new upgraded sword. It has the exact same moveset. All the swords do in this game, but Alistair allows us to buy upgrades, so we can buy stuff like Stinger. Oh no, I lost Orb Manip. And also my controller unplugged. That's okay. Losing Orb Manip is not a big deal. I figured that was gonna happen because how the hell am I supposed to keep my rank consistently through the switches? DMC2's ranking system is really, really brutal, actually. It's super easy to lose your rank. Rolling keeps it indefinitely though, actually, so that helps a ton for keeping it, but doesn't solve our problem here. I have backups for it, so we're chilling. No, I don't even think it's the controller itself. I just need a better cable. All right, so we didn't get the orb manip. The orb manipulation is basically you get certain ranks in a row, and that allows you to get 10 times orbs drops from the next 10 enemies that you kill, which obviously would give you an insane amount of orbs, especially if you kill them at an S rank. We unfortunately weren't able to get that this time, but that's not the end of the world. There'll be another opportunity to do it later, and the money route isn't as tight DMC2 as it is in some of the other games. We still do want S rank though, which we'll need no damage for. What's up, Uday? How you doing, dude? What's up, Flynn? I just thought it'd be fun to do commentary for it. It's fun. Oh my god, I just got comboed. Oh, I mean, you can block everything in DMC3. I mean, everything, bro. The only thing you can't block is the acid floor on mission 8. Oh. Yep. That's a key. Hog. My controller acted a fool, dude. Back to mission 2. Eat the key? I don't know, dude. That sounds painful. Back to mission 2. Still need no damage here. We have Devil Trigger now as well that we have Alistair. Never mind. We definitely don't have Devil Trigger now. We will not get that for another like 8 missions. But we do have the shotgun. Our highest form of DPS now is going to be shotgun canceling. Basically, like I said, you can recover any animation almost instantaneously by pressing Royal Guard. So you can shoot the shotgun, and then instead of having the recovery animation from the shotgun, you just block and instantly recover. So you can just mash the shotgun really, really fast. Ah! Okay, we're fine. Like I said, I need no damage on this mission. Really bad room to get switched on. All good. But taunting gives Devil Trigger in all of the games. There's no taunt in DMC2, but you see those 3 runes underneath my health bar. I taunted one of those marionettes there, and it gave me 1 and a little bit extra. Devil Trigger basically makes you do 2 times damage in DMC1. 2 times damage, and also recovers your health over time. and gives you a big damage resistance. In DMC1, it's easily the most important mechanic in the entire game. So we're going to be spending most of our time managing that devil trigger. Here we're going to grab the shotgun. The blicky, the gat is very useful in this run. Guns in DMC1 are just super strong in general. People tend to think that DMC2 guns, the broken ones, no. Not even close. DMC1 guns. They are the broken guns. Just like DMC3, we need those 2 S ranks so that we can have Stinger 2 for mission 3. We're coming up on our first boss. Cerberus. Big old gatekeeper. Lots of people unlocked easy mode here. He's not so bad though. He's a good boy. He likes to do tricks. He'll roll over for me, I'm sure. Lay down. Right, Cerberus? Right? Right? Fuck. Sir! Why did you not fall over? You have to shoot the ice off of his heads before you can hurt him. There you go. And all of his heads have different attack that they can do. Goodbye. We also now... Oh! Okay, I didn't get hit. That's good. Still want to get the no damage here. Trying to keep my style up as well so I get as many orbs as I can from these Mistras. Your style is maintained through both rolling and shooting, so as long as you're constantly shooting an enemy or rolling, you won't lose style. But it is really hard to maintain your style in DMC2. It's easily the hardest game of the 3 to maintain style. Hey Skyback, how you doing? So we're gonna leave here with like 3,000 orbs. That's pretty good actually. With the orb manip, we'd leave with like 5,000. So this is like not too bad. This should definitely, we got no damage as well, so this should definitely S rank at least, which will allow us to buy our first sword upgrade. In DMC2, you don't buy new moves, you only buy upgrades, so you just get like a straight damage upgrade in DMC2. Well, that'll be useful for mission 3. Back out of DMC1, we're going to be going for something a little bit different here. We're not trying to get a special bonus, or we're not trying to get an S rank, we're trying to get a special bonus. An S rank requires really good performance on the mission in damage, time, and orbs, but a special bonus requires perfect scores on all 3 dimensions, damage, time, and orbs. The special bonus basically is just like a super S rank, and it gives you an extra 2,000 orbs as a bonus for the end of the mission. And that is a huge boost to the economy, as early on in the game, you only get 800 orbs from an S rank. So an extra 2,000 orbs is a big boost. Let's switch back to Ebony and Ivory because that'll be useful later. But we'll have our first real boss fight. Phantom. And Phantom is simultaneously a really easy boss fight and also super brutally difficult. He has a weak point on his abdomen, and your downward slash does 2 times damage if you do a double jump. That's exactly what I was expecting to happen. So I got bad RNG and Phantom's turning around in the middle of that fight, and I switched right as it happened. So that's great. That's that's gonna be fun to come back to, because I really need to no damage that mission so I get the special bonus. Well, that figures. Anyways, mission 4. DMC 1, 2, and 3 are pretty glitchless runs overall, but mission 4 in DMC 3 has a huge skip. I'd say it's about 2 minutes. It's called Giga Zip. We probably won't see it this switch because it's like 2 rooms away, but it is on this mission. It lets us skip the Gigapede boss fight, which is one of the most annoying fights in the game, and also a pit fight that also is really rough. But we're gonna hopefully be able to skip both of those. By doing Giga Zip. I'm hoping that we'll get a switch beforehand, because if we don't, then I'll be like switching in the middle. Okay, that's good. There we go. Mission 1 done. DMC2 should get my S rank here, or A rank. That's still fine. As long as I have over 5,000 orbs, we're chilling. Be able to buy my my sword upgrade, Rebellion level 2. Literally all that does is just make it do more damage, which would be really useful for mission 3. Yeah, bro, they keep it pretty consistent, huh? Mission 3 always got the first real boss in every game. You almost always buy Stinger. You'd buy Stinger in DMC2 probably, but you start with it. What's up, Mogujin? Okay. Let's get Gigazip before it switches again. So, there is a mechanic in this game, you know, gold releases. That 3-frame window trick where you like counter the enemy and you zoom through them. If you do that on the edge of a surface, then you can sometimes get what's called a zip, where basically the game will not slow you down and you'll maintain your velocity. This can give you so much speed that you'll actually go through walls. Like that. And this room is connected to the last room in the level, and the ending of the level is connected to grabbing this item. So if you stand on the railing there and release the enemy's attack while aiming at the other enemy, you'll actually zip through the wall and land at the end of the level, which skips a whole lot of the level. It skips the whole level, basically. Skips the boss fight and an additional combat encounter. So this is what we were talking about before with the double jump health breaker and also the DT. Those both do 2 times damage. Okay, thank God. Oh God. Really need the no damage here for that special bonus. All good, we got it. That was really unfortunate timing with... So I got bad RNG and he did a slow turn, which is really hard to counter. And then on top of that, I also got a game switch at the same time. So that was terrifying, but never punished. Got my 2,000 extra orbs. Let's go. I didn't make it into the door. Okay, I need to remember when I switch to DMC 1. Hold the interact button. The start of the DMC2 run kind of got a lot of nothing going on, but it builds up over time. We're gonna see some really cool mechanics added in the next mission. But here we're just doing some puzzles, basically. This puzzle's random, which orientation you get. I got best RNG there, so I was able to get it in 2 cycles. That's nice. We're basically just building up, trying to maintain some early good ranks to build our money. DMC2 is very different in its combat system as opposed to the other Devil May Cry games. The other Devil May Cry games, most of your alternative attacks and alternative combos come from either pausing the amount of time between your attacks or holding the lock-on button and then adding directional inputs. And while you kind of do the directional input stuff in this game, most of the time, moving your left analog stick in different directions is what will give you different combos. Also, in this game, you have the ability to completely override lock-on, even the auto lock-on. So if I hold the right trigger, that works. If I hold the right trigger, then I don't have to do attacks in the direction of enemies. We got the Shadow fight. Shadow is an interesting enemy because you can only attack him with guns. And once you shoot him enough, then his core will be exposed. And when his core is exposed, then you can hit the core with your sword, and that causes him to turn red. Once he's red, he's gonna start chasing you, and then he'll blow up after enough time. But right there, I did a critical kill, which is a special type of kill that allows you to kill him without making the core show up. You need that specific attack, and then to jump on top of the skewer, and then to shoot him. But he doesn't always give you that attack. There's a manipulation that I did there for that. And then he doesn't need to have his core hit, and he'll just instantly explode. It also gives you extra orbs. So that's really nice. Thank you, Shadow, for your Megan RNG. Back to DMC2. We actually start with Devil Trigger in this game. And there are pads on the ground that will refill your Devil Trigger for you automatically. You see the yellow bar there. So we're standing on that and building up our Devil Trigger. And we're not going to get to use it at all. Thank you, game. Bonus orbs. This stairwell is really cool. Why take the stairs when you could just do a sick-ass puppet jump? You could jump off enemies' heads in DMC1 to get extra height, and then you can also do a wall jump on top of that. So I launched him in the air to get some height, and then jumped off of him while he was in the air, and then jumped off of the wall again to skip like that whole room, basically. We got Nello Angelo. We're going to get completely trolled, actually, is what's going to happen. God, why is it always in the middle of boss fights? Thanks, bro. Stop BB. Thank you, my friend. How you doing, man? Oh, I know how it works, game. Thank you. DMC2 has a really unique system that's super cool with the Devil Trigger. It's called Amulet Customizations. So throughout the game, you can get different upgrades to your Devil Trigger that are modular. You can change them whenever you want. We just unlocked Aerial Heart there, which literally allows us to fly. We're going to use that to leave the level, but also to get these secret hidden orb caches that give us a ton of money. Super useful. So now we literally just have the ability to fly. We can fly whenever we want, as long as we have Devil Trigger, and pretty much go anywhere. It's going to be useful later on. All right, now we're on mission 3, which is going to have our first boss fight in classic Devil May Cry tradition. Not that we'll get to see it now. Instead, we're on DMC3, mission 5. We're fighting some blood goyles. These enemies are very much similar to shadows, actually, where you have to shoot them first. If you don't turn them into stone before hitting them with your sword, then they'll split apart and you'll have multiple to fight. Like that. Could be really annoying for the speedrun, obviously, because you do not want to fight more than enemies than you have to. That's pretty good. We have 2 boss fights on this mission, which is actually pretty rare in Devil May Cry. This is because this is Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, which came out a year after the original PS2 release. And this release adds a couple of additional boss fights, notably Jester that we're fighting right now. This first Jester fight is mandatory, you have to do it. But there are 2 other Jester fights in the run that are optional. That, you know, that worked out. You know, I was mid-fight, that's fine. Here on Nello, we're gonna skip 2 phases of the fight. After you do a certain amount of damage, he teleports away. And then after you do a certain amount of damage again, he teleports away again. And there's these skippable cutscenes that are associated with that. In order to skip those, we just use a holy water. And that holy water does so much damage that it just kills him outright. Oh, that's right, I needed the handgun still. Another shadow, we're gonna do another skewer. Critical hit manipulation. You can see he turned red there. This mission is super important that I don't get hit on because I'm going for another special bonus. We need 100 orbs and no damage, and if we get that, then we'll get another 2,000 orbs bonus, which is huge. Back to DMC3, or DMC2 rather. This is not DMC3. That would be a very different reality if this is DMC3. We are setting up for our first boss fight, and we're going to show a mechanic that not many people know about DMC2. It's called Majin Devil Trigger. If you have under 10% of your maximum HP, your health bar turns red. And when your health bar is red and you activate Devil Trigger, you activate Majin Devil Trigger. Oh, damn. That's okay. You activate Majin Devil Trigger, which basically makes you invincible for like 30 seconds. And gives you a completely unique moveset. I messed up the setup, so I died, which uses a gold orb. The gold orb is something that you start with. and we have a backup for that. It's really hard. One of the hardest parts about DMC2 speedrunning is setting up your damage correctly so that you just barely don't die and stay right outside that range of death. There I got a little bit unlucky and measured my HP wrong, so I just died. The nice thing about that is, though, I get full Devil Trigger now because the gold orb refills your DT, and I can use a backup strat and show off more aerial heart on the monkey. With Jester dead, now we're working our way up the tower. Make our way to Agni and Rudra, which are not only going to be our next boss fight, but also our next weapon. Super important. Woo! Where was I at in DMC 1? I was running away from the cat. Okay, that's a safe switch. DMC 2, I'm like in the middle of a cutscene, so I'm perfectly safe there too. I think we're chilling. So there are many different ways you can increase your damage output in DMC 3. Shotgun canceling is our best one for now, but we also have switch canceling. You have a loadout of 2 different melee weapons that you can have at once, and switching back and forth between them will actually cancel the animation that you're currently doing and allow you to attack a lot faster and doing more damage. Back to DMC 1. Got the no damage. That orb cache at the top there is exactly 100 orbs. This is exactly how many orbs we need to get the special bonus. What's up, J Slash? We grab some Devil Trigger from those Sin sites on the way down. End our mission. This is one of the shortest missions in the run. Another special bonus. We have a lot of money now, but we're going to need to spend a lot of money over the course of the run. We're going to buy a Vortex and Air Raid. Vortex is a move. There are a lot of moves like this actually in DMC 1 where you can only use the move in Devil Trigger with Devil Trigger active. Basically what Vortex is allows you to fly in a line in the air. And it does damage. It also gives you invincibility frames. Okay, back to the boss on DMC 2. This is Monkey. The Monkey is just had no chance against our round trip here. When you're flying, you can do a move called round trip. And round trip is super, super strong. It hits like way more than it should. Sir, I can't see. There's walls in the way. Thank you. Down goes Monkey. Decent boss. No, the in-game timer for the level does not run while the game's not in focus. Thank God. That would make it so hard to get some ranks on certain missions. The Monkey's in my walls. He's in my walls. We'll get plenty of opportunities to show off Majin, so no need to worry about that. Decent Monkey fight, considering that I had to use the backup strat. We'll definitely get an opportunity on mission 4 to use Majin. But we did lose our gold orb, which is unfortunate. We'll have to pick up one later. That means that if we die, we'll have to reload from a checkpoint instead of respawning instantly. Not a big deal. That's what happens in DMC 1 anyways, you know. DMC 1 always had that checkpoint reload system on death. DMC 2 implemented gold orbs, which allow you to respawn right where you are. And then at the beginning of this run, I accidentally picked yellow orbs for DMC 3. Yellow orb is basically the DMC 1 respawn system, where if you have a yellow orb, and you die, then you are allowed to respawn from a checkpoint, but if not, you have to restart the whole mission. And then gold mode allows you to use gold orbs instead, which allow you to respawn instantly, like right where you died, like in DMC 2. Obviously, much better for a speedrun to respawn from a checkpoint, not have to start the whole mission over if you die. Especially because we're going to be doing some intentional death warping later in the run. You don't want to get to mission 15, death warp, and be like, oh, actually, I have to do the whole mission again. Hey, sweet devil girl. What's up, Griff? Howdy. Oh! I was not ready for that. So mission 4 here in DMC2. We're gonna do a pretty big skip actually. One of the customizations to your Devil Trigger that you can get is the Quick Heart, which makes all your animations like 20% faster. Which you would think really useful for a speedrun, right? Unfortunately, it's actually not because you have to do a whole bunch of extra combat to go get it, and you actually don't need your animations to be faster. It's way better to focus on DPS. So instead of getting the Quick Heart and using it to beat this gate, we're just gonna roll and have good movement, and we'll have more than enough time to beat the gate before it closes. And then right on the other side of the gate is our next boss fight. I like to call him Dante's browser history. It's gonna give us a really nice setup to get into Majin. And I'm really glad that it switched there. I did not want to be mid Majin setup when it switched. All right, Agni Rudra, double boss fight. Only double boss fight in the 3 games. Basically the gimmick here is that they both fight you at the same time and have different health bars, but if you kill one of them, then they'll separate. Or they'll combine rather. And get some health back and also a new moveset. So you want to kill them both at the same time if possible. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing on purpose missed releases so that I can parry their swords and keep them down for as long as possible, so that I can evenly distribute the damage. So that they won't be able to run away and combine. Good fight. And we also unlocked Agni Rudra now, which we get to use as our own weapons, the dual swords. We're easily going to switch that for Cerberus because Agni Rudra is just way better. It's going to be equipped for quite a lot of the game. Back at DMC2, so we're setting up for that low HP Majin setup. Damn, that's unlucky. I got bad attack RNG, so my health staggering was bad and I needed to buffer it with using DT. That's okay, we can just try again. What are you talking about, Minus World? That's just how fast the shotgun shoots. Nothing special. I should have DT'd a little bit earlier. The problem is there's a buffer between when you DT the first time and when you can DT again. This should be good. Yeah, there we go. There's Majin. As you can see, it does an absolute insane amount of damage and you're invincible during the whole time. Unlucky fight, but not a big deal. Is that a holy water drop? That's actually crazy if so. No, it's a white orb. Hey, white orb saves time. Let's go. Majin actually is the fastest form of movement as well in this game. So being in Majin is just good all the time. You're invincible, you get a unique moveset that lets you just do insane damage. And also you move really fast. Again though, a really high risk, high reward, right? If you accidentally mess up your Majin setup and die, you can lose quite a bit of time. Alright, back to DMC3. We have Agni Rudra now, which I went ahead and equipped. But we're not going to see it at all this mission. This mission is pretty much just movement. We have to do 2 out of the 3 trials to unlock the pathway ahead. The easiest 2 trials to do are the ones that don't require any combat. This obstacle course and then a puzzle, a riddle that I obviously already know the answer to. Obstacle course down. Takes like no time at all. Then this movement here is called free ride. You jump on the enemy's back and then you can extend the amount of time you're sliding by shooting. It's actually a bit faster than Stinger, so use that when we can. Oh, speaking of holy waters. These bugs here are really annoying and super slow to kill manually, so we use a holy water there just to make that fight super consistent. There's some vortex movement finally. We bought it like 10 years ago, it feels like. Stinger movement is our best bet when we don't have Devil Trigger. But we're going to try to optimize our Devil Trigger usage to be vortexing as much as possible. It's way faster than using Stinger. Here's a mini boss, but you'll get to see this a lot in DMC1. Hit him with the Catholic Priest Bathwater. Dunzo.
Hell yeah.
Yo,
thanks
Griff,
for the
thank you for the 8
support.
months, dude. Appreciate that.
Underscore XP Big Weebs for 8 months. Any fellow primos?
Any prime forgetters, bro? What's up, Bluebird? How you doing, dude? So we bought a purple orb, which refills our DT back up to full, but also increases our maximum amount of Devil Trigger. That's going to be super useful across all 3 games. Here we're using it so that we can have the increased Devil Trigger to make this dog fight a lot faster. There's a lot of luck involved with this fight. You're hoping that they come over to you so that you can hit them with your sword. While people like to clown on DMC2 for having really strong guns, actually the sword is like way higher DPS in pretty much every situation. We got pretty decent luck there. They came over and let us hit them just a bit. Oh, we're back in DMC1. Right as soon as I get hit by that bird. The DT management is huge in DMC1. It's the most important part of the whole run, actually. So we're gonna do everything that we can, even if it's really hard, to try to maintain as much DT as possible. Thankfully, you build it back really, really fast. You build DT by damage taken and damage dealt. Oh baby, a triple! There I did charge shot. Basically, I equipped the shotgun and then held the shoot button. And holding the shoot button will charge up the gun and make it do as much damage as it would as if you have Devil Trigger active. And with that, I was able to get a triple kill and kill all those enemies at the same time. And that refilled my Devil Trigger so that I can then use it again in the next room. So like every room in the game is meticulously routed so that you have as much Devil Trigger as possible. Mission 6 done. Now we're on Mission 7. Mission 7's a big boy. Mission 7, arguably one of the hardest in the speedrun in the whole game for DMC3. That's because we're going to introduce a new mechanic for increasing our DPS called jump canceling. Jump canceling is basically where you are in the air and you attack an enemy and then you jump off of the enemy's head. And when you jump off the enemy's head, it cancels the recovery animation of whatever attack you're doing and allows you to then do the attack again. So you can loop aerial attacks over and over and over again on the same enemy. But it's really difficult. It's quite hard to get the timing on it. And every attack in the game has different timing and every enemy in the game has different hitboxes for jump canceling. So in this mission, we're doing a whole lot of it because we have enemies called greeds, which are going to be spawning in additional enemies. If we don't kill the greeds fast enough, they'll spawn in more, and then that's just really slow. Very similar to DMC1, actually. We're going to be doing a lot of Devil Trigger management in DMC2. We don't have a taunt button in this game, unfortunately, so it's a lot harder to rebuild our DT. The fortunate thing is it's really easy to deactivate DT whenever you want. And because DT is generated based on damage dealt, if you do an attack in DT and then deactivate DT, you'll get more DT back. So oftentimes you can do DT exclusive combo moves and then deactivate DT and actually regain almost all of the Devil Trigger that you use doing the combo move because of the extra damage. So here's the greeds, doing some jump cancels. This aerial cross attack normally would send enemies flying, but these greeds don't ever stun, which makes them perfect. Aerial cross does a ton of damage, and you can do really, really, really high DPS like this, which is why it makes it the best choice for this mission. Maybe 3 rooms with greeds like that. That was just the first one. Got no spawns there, so that's huge. Rubbing for no spawns in all 3. Back to DMC 1. Mission 7 is a hard one because I need to no damage to get the S rank here, and I actually really, really want the S rank. There's bugs though, and we don't have the affordance to holy water them. Okay, nice. Didn't get hit there. Huge. I use Vortex to hit that dial there. Hitting the dial makes the elevator go up. But then while the elevator is going up, I have to try to build my DT back with the shotgun and not take damage. So like, that was really good. Got the S rank. Means I didn't take damage. Heading into mission 8. It's gonna be our final boss fight with Phantom. Pretty much every boss in this game you fight 3 times. Phantom you do fight 3 times, but the second fight is an optional one. So this will be our last one. All right, back to DMC 1, or DMC 2 rather. I got a white orb there. It's really nice. White orbs refill your devil trigger. So making sure to grab those whenever you see them, super important. This is the super infamous DMC 2 mission with infested chopper and infested tanks. We do have some really good strats to take care of them fast, but it is still a pretty hard mission. The infested tanks have this eyeball on top of them, and that's a huge weak spot. They take way more damage if you hit the eyeball. But their attacks are random. I actually got the worst attack here. It does that little gun turret on the top because it's pretty impossible to avoid. We just have to tank it with the devil trigger. We do want to set up Majin as we kill the 3rd tank. Ah! So that hopefully we'll have Majin for the helicopter. Oh, yep. I thought that I had already done this. I did not. XD. Elevator time. So yeah, we're gonna be trying to get a setup to use Majin after we kill the 3rd tank. That's ideal. There's another gold orb on this mission, but it's not until after the tank section, so we're not gonna be able to pick it up right away. Excuse me, sir. I have a feeling it's gonna switch before I even get to this combat encounter. But I gotta do this puzzle. Excuse me, sir. Die. Thank you. This one is the hardest greed encounter here because you have enemies that spawn in from the start that aren't greeds. Oh, what a block. He's him. With these lusts that you can't avoid. There's gonna be another set of lusts here. Oh, okay. Sick jump cancel. Alright. Final Phantom fight. This one is really consistent. There's no luck involved at all because you bait him over to this wall and then you hit him with 2 helm breakers and that stuns him. And when Phantom's stunned, he'll always walk in a straight line for the next like 5 seconds. And since he's facing the wall, that straight line ends up making him just walk into the wall repeatedly. Which allows us to be able to hit his weak spot and get that 8 times damage. 2 times damage from having Devil Trigger active, 2 times damage from doing a double jump, and then 2 times damage from the weak spot. Those all stack to add up to 8 times damage there. Dude stands no chance. Boy hole blown out for real. And now we have the grenade gun, which is easily the most broken gun in all of Devil May Cry. Which I guess we'll talk more about later. Yeah, this is the attack that we don't want until the 3rd tank, where he's shooting at us from the top. But it's okay, we still have quite a bit of health and some DT left. Should be pretty safe. For this one, we're gonna hopefully use the shotgun on the eye from the side here. Oh, he turned, unlucky, so I gotta find the weak spot. The top. It's much harder from the top. So yeah, I'm getting this attack, which is good in some ways, but bad in others. It's really good because it's gonna give me... It's gonna get me into Majin health pretty fast. But if I'm not careful, I could die. There we go. Cool. Got my Majin health. Good recovery there. Now it's infested chopper time. Rat jam. So Majin is just faster for everything. It also gives you a faster flying animation. We set up Majin specifically so that we could fly up this elevator shaft. Because it's way faster to do that than not. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. My double trigger management is all messed up now. So this is basically a little puzzle where this thing's going to go all the way to the bottom. And you're on a timer to beat it down. But because I switched in the middle, my movement wasn't good enough to keep my DT, and I need the DT for the next mission. So I had to go restart it. It's not so bad though. Got my S rank there. Nice. We want enough DT to be able to activate. You can only activate if you have at least 3 runes. Because there's going to be a room up ahead where there's going to be enemies, and we want to skip that room by vortexing through it. And you can't stinger when there's enemies in a room because you'll auto lock onto the enemy. And it's gonna switch in the middle of this room. I'm calling it. Okay, now we're fine. So that you need to no damage this mission, so you can get the S rank, and the S rank there is even more important than other S ranks because it gives even more orbs. Good fight. So it's really important that I didn't get hit there, which is why I wanted to make sure I had the DT. Yeet. The further into the game you go in DMC1, the more the S ranks give you as a bonus. So on mission 9, you actually get 1500 as a bonus instead of 800. When you go back to another game, do you pick up where you left off? Yep. Exactly. Really good JCs. Not that many. Oh, okay, that works. Thank God I was in the middle of a JC when I switched. One of the biggest, scariest parts about switching in this mod is switching while you have Majin activated, because the way that Majin works. Oh man. Oh, we're good. Okay, cool. The way Majin works is that you actually lose DT whenever you do a move. So if I accidentally do a move, then my Majin will be all messed up potentially, and I might lose a boss cycle or something. Killing the chopper there early like teleports you to the other side of the area, which is just faster than running, which is why I did that. But I barely had enough. So now I have really low health, and actually I'm hoping to get a Majin set up. I have a Devil Star and a Vital Star that I got from just starting the game. And I'm hoping to have one of these birds hit me, and that'll put me in Majin range, so that I can then use Majin on the chopper boss fight. And we'll use our Devil Star to be able to activate DT. Chopper and Virgil at the same time. My luck. We're coming up on the first Virgil boss fight, DMC3. Might actually switch like in the middle of it because there's this long ass walk up the hill. Virgil is pretty straightforward. Basically, you take turns fighting. He'll do a combo, and then you have an opportunity to counter him. And he will take a certain amount of hits before then he'll auto parry your attacks. So I'm going to do a specific amount of hits. And then just let him attack me again so that he doesn't teleport away. Bye-bye, Virgil. Alright, cool. I was afraid it was going to switch mid-fight. So now in DMC3, we have officially unlocked Devil Trigger. It takes like 8 missions to get there. Don't ask me why. So all the money that we've been saving out so far is going to be spent on purple orbs. Purple orbs, as I said before, increase your maximum Devil Trigger. We're going to be able to buy quite a few. Back to DMC1. We are now going to pick up our second weapon, It's going to be Ifrit, the Gauntlet and Greaves. They're fire-based. The first Griffin boss fight's coming up here, and actually we don't even need to fight it. We're just going to skip it. That door that you see in the background there has these 2 fire pillars, and you actually just need Ifrit to hit the fire pillar just to open the door. And you don't have to fight the boss, so we're just not going to. Goodbye, Griffin. Ifrit is going to be super, super useful later on, but for the time being, it's pretty useless. It's mostly useful for certain boss fights, particularly the nightmare boss fights that'll come up much later. Alistair just has so much more utility because of Stinger and Vortex that we keep it active most of the time. Normally, most people would think that you have to switch in the menu between the weapons, but you don't. You can press in the right stick and switch in real time. There's a bit of an animation to it, but you can do that. Back at DMC3, we're in the Leviathan's guts now. And we have to beat up these little uvula things so that we can open the door and progress. We're gonna do a bit of a skip here. Instead of going all the way around, we're gonna do some platforming. Devil May Cry, known for its amazing platforming. This acid on the floor here is the only stuff on the game that you can't block with the real guard.
Fenrir enjoyed Big Weebs for 32
Yo, Fenrir.
months. Can I
Thank you
get
so
a
much for the
jackpot?
32 months, man. Jackpot, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much for 32. So this is Gigapede. This is the boss that you don't get to see because we skipped it. There's 2 of them in this Leviathan here. Neither of them are required, so we're just gonna run away from them. All right, back to DMC1. This is the forest fight. This forest fight is one of the bigger RNG sections of the run, actually. Basically, the enemies always spawn in the same order, but where they spawn is random. So I was having to adapt there in a bunch of different ways and use the grenade gun to kill them. The grenade gun is absolutely busted. A non-Devil Trigger grenade gun shot kills 90% of all marionettes in one shot. And the most powerful part about the grenade gun is it builds like a whole rune and a half of DT every time you shoot an enemy. That damage is doubled when you activate DT, and you can do something called DT flashing to deactivate DT after you shoot a grenade gun shot. And then that means that it'll do 2 times damage, and you'll get DT back for it at 2 times damage. So you can pretty much always have Devil Trigger active and always instantly rebuild it with the grenade gun as long as you're doing your shots correctly. Like I just did there. That was a DT flash. So we're gonna keep the grenade gun equipped for the whole rest of the game, basically. Back to DMC3. We're gonna head into the retina room here. This room is a complete enigma. No one knows how this shit works, like at all. Basically, there's a thing in the middle of the room that has to fill up with orbs, I think, before you can progress. But it's really like esoteric, and no one understands exactly like what causes it to go. But there is a consistent strat you can do. Killing all those guys with a Devil Trigger explosion. And then rolling, which apparently builds the style. I had no idea. And then taunting. And then killing all these enemies with some jump cancels will be enough to open it, ending the sequence. So I did Devil Trigger explosion there. I haven't explained what that is yet. Basically in DMC3, if you hold down the Devil Trigger button, then you switch games. This maze that we're doing here, basically this light goes into one of 2 directions. And it's random which direction it goes, but the light goes inside enemies. And when the enemies die, the light will go either to a different enemy or to the end section. And we can actually guarantee that it goes to the end section that we want by killing specific enemies in specific ways. So we don't have to worry about that at all. Ooh, back to DMC2. Okay, I need to get hit by these birds with this attack. Yes, perfect. Right HP. Pog. I need to grab the gold orb. It's very important that I don't die right now, because there is this boss fight, infamous boss fight, the chopper boss fight, has a really good consistent strat to get a quick kill that ends the fight nearly instantly, but you have to do it right, and you have to go into the fight starting with Majin. We could do that by having the Majin set up and then using the Devil Star. Oh God. Okay, thanks. Thank you for that switch. Okay. That's a great switch. Thank you, game. So I just activated Majin. I should have like a second of animation, and then I have to walk into the trigger for the boss and then hold the jump button. It should be pretty doable, I believe. If not, there are backups, but that's that would be a really rough switch. Okay, mission 11, DMC 1. DMC 1 is the shortest of the 3 speedruns, so it's the one that's most likely to get finished first. That's why we're the furthest in the game with this game, obviously. They're gonna have our second El Angelo fight here. It's pretty mellow at this point. I'm sure you... Okay, this is really good, actually. Good recovery. Okay, we're gonna have to do some improv here. This is not quite gonna kill, but it's gonna be pretty close. Definitely need some improv. That was a good recovery though, considering what happened. So the chopper, one of the main reasons why it's really bad is because you need to hit it on its eyeball on the side if you want to do like any significant damage. Oh no. Okay, I have my gold orb. Not the end of the world. That's at least gonna give me my DT back. So we can finish the boss off pretty fast. Cool. Not a big deal. That's why we grabbed that gold orb. Nice and safe. I got unlucky with my attack, and because I had the switch right beforehand, I couldn't line it up so that I would be able to hit all of my fireballs on the eyeball. And the eyeball makes it so you do like literally 5 times damage. So if you don't hit the eyeball, you're basically not even hitting the boss. I also did a little bit of a laser attack there right at the end, just to get a little bit of extra damage in. But that was overall a really good recovery for the chopper, honestly. It could have been a lot worse. Okay, Devil Trigger Explosion. As I was explaining, if you charge your Devil Trigger by holding down the Devil Trigger button, it will start your runes glowing. And as they glow, you'll charge up more and more, and then you can release all of them at the same time to do massive damage. And the more that you charge, the more damage it does. We're going to be doing that a lot. And it's actually the biggest thing that is makes this shuffler hard. Because oftentimes you'll be holding Devil Trigger Explosion for a long time. And if the game switches, you're no longer holding the Devil Trigger Explosion. Right, so you'll come back into the game and instantly like release it and lose all of your Devil Trigger, which can mess up your routing. That was a really good Leviathan Heart fight. I was able to gold release the enemy's attack, and because in DMC 3 your DT build is 1-to-1 with damage dealt, I got all of my Devil Trigger back by doing the gold release, and then I could do a second Devil Trigger Explosion to kill the boss right away in like 1.5 cycles. Mission 6, my favorite mission in the game, DMC 2. This is Nephosturus, the building boss. Really, really cool design, and a hyper consistent boss fight. He is basically exactly scripted and will do the same exact thing every single time, and he gives you the perfect attacks to set up Majin. So this last one sets up Majin, and then there are 2 phases to this boss fight, so we don't want to use Majin right away. We want to get him just above dead, so that we will be able to shoot him once or twice with a fireball and instantly transfer to the next phase and still have enough Majin to finish the second phase. We need like one more head dive. Hopefully 1 fireball. Nice. Okay, cool. Okay. That's actually not bad. That's a good spot for it to switch, even though it's in the middle of a boss fight. Back to DMC 1. We have another boss fight here. Little brother Nello Angelo. Virgil, if you will. He's stinky. You gotta give him a bath. as we do in DMC1. Hit them with the holy water. It's Nello 2, so you gotta hit them with 2 holy waters. That's what the name means. That's why you gotta holy water Nello 3 times. That jump right there that I just did looks really innocuous. Actually, probably the hardest thing in the whole speedrun. We never buy a double jump in DMC1, so the platforming can be quite hard. And that jump requires some insane precision to hit off the pillar. Good mission. In mission 12, we get jump scared with some underwater controls. Everyone hates them. But they're actually surprisingly robust. They give you a lot of control if you know what you're doing with them. Granted, a lot of control in a first-person underwater level in your 2001 action game. Uh-oh. Well, that's just unfair. My controller unplugged as I get underwater. Ripped by no damage. That's fine. There's an easy backup. There we go. So that last move I did there is a big area of effect attack that you can do by pressing the sword and gun button at the same time. But dude, it is so precise. You have to press them like literally the same frame. If you press them at all off of each other, then you just do an attack and then you're gonna run out of Majin and it's Jover. His spinal cord takes like way more damage than any other part in his body, so you have to go behind him and make sure you hit on the spinal cord. But really good boss fight. Love to see it. That boss is mad fun. We're gonna get our another backup gold orb here in a second. There's a little secret one back here. Alright. If I'd still be getting those even if I didn't use the gold orb before. But it would just give me 1,000 orbs. It's not required for the route or anything, it's just nice. That's a little backup. It's a bummer that you can't stack multiple ones though. Make the run even safer. Spiders are weak to fire. Who would have thought? There's actually elemental damage in DMC3. So using the right weapon against the right enemy will give you like a 20% damage increase. But nothing is as strong as Royal Guard. Royal Guard is always the best solution. Oh, that was sick. Did I just release the spider web? Epic Games update available. Thank you, Epic Games. Oh no, a puzzle. In my DMC game? No. Alright, so you remember that zip that we did on mission 4 to skip that whole boss fight? We're gonna do another one here. This is the M9 zip. This one is a lot less consistent. And it's actually not gonna happen because now I'm in a different game. This one's a lot less consistent because you have to have one of those archers hit you and their aim is surprisingly awful. So this is a death scythe. Death scythes have unique properties. You cannot kill a death scythe in one hit. Even though it only has like 3,000 HP and a holy water does 10,000 damage, the holy water should not kill in one hit unless you make it hit more than one time. So I stood in a specific spot and use it in a specific timing right there so that the holy water would hit twice and kill him. Because if you do, your first attack will always knock him to 500 HP and then you have to do a second attack. Just because they don't want you insta-killing them. Unfortunately for the developers, life finds a way. So I'm gonna get an A rank here because I got hit. Unlucky. That's the first miss rank of the run actually, so not bad.
We could take on anything.
Can't go on. This is the run on a challenge run. Living glitch. Nice try though. Boom. This is the shortest mission in the game. Oh, hi. Speaking of zips, Shubi! So I'd stand in a specific spot and then get hit by his attack and gold release it, which again is a 3-frame trick. There it is. And locking onto the enemies across the way will allow me to redirect that so that I go across that gap. It only saves like 20 seconds, but really cool. You can literally block everything except for the acid in DMC3, so in sections like this, we're really happy that there's environmentals actually, because we can block them on purpose to give us a lot of Devil Trigger and also Royal Guard Reader. You'll see that anytime we have downtime and there's environmental stuff in the area, just build guard, build Devil Trigger, so that we can use it in upcoming fights. Taunting also builds DT, and in DMC 3 you can taunt dead bodies because their hitbox is still active for some time. Really, really useful. Oh, where am I? There I am. Really, really useful. Yeah, thanks, BDI. Appreciate that. Because my nose is itchy, bro. Got some allergies or some shit. Might be allergic to dumb YouTube comments or something. This is the mission where we're going to have another opportunity to do the orb manipulation. If I don't get either of the orb manipulations in the run, it's not the end of the world, but it does help a lot. They give you like an extra 5, almost 10,000 orbs. I was trying to find an opportunity to be able to use the Royal Guard to hit all of the spiders, but they are not cooperating. The spiders are easily the most luck-based enemy in the entirety of DMC3. It's not even close. They love to run away. It's mad annoying. Excuse me, sir. Pardon me. We're gonna buy another purple orb here. It's gonna refill our Devil Trigger and also get us one closer to max. I think we only have one left that we need to fill. There really isn't much in DMC3 that is worth buying. We buy some Holy Waters and we use those on a couple of key fights, like Arkham at the end. But the only ability really worth getting is Stinger, and we already bought it. So we prioritize buying purple orbs over everything else. Okay, I was a little worried that I get hit here. All good though. I do want the S rank. It would be nice. We're only an hour and 11 minutes in. This is like going pretty well. Pretty stoked on it. There's a Holy Water in this backup intermission here that I'm gonna grab. That'll offset that S rank that I lost on mission 12. Yeah, that one. Thank you, sir. Making a big purchase here. Devil Star, 3 Holy Waters, Untouchable, Purple Orb. Yeah, thanks, BDI. I did do a run of this yesterday, but I wasn't able to finish it. I don't know, I play all these games a lot. The one I'm easily the most rusty on is DMC2, so I wouldn't be super surprised. It's gonna switch right here during this section where I really want it to not switch. So Vortex, yep, I knew it. Vortex gives you invincibility frames, and I need to no damage this mission to get the S rank. So I'm using Vortex on purpose through the spikes so that they don't hit me. But that's gonna be hard to manage when I switch back in. This is Nevin. We're hoping for a 2-cycle on this fight. We need to build as much Royal Guard and DT as possible, and then hit her with specific attacks whenever she's vulnerable from her shield being gone. Because hitting her with certain attacks causes her to fall over, which allows you to do more hits. So Devil Trigger Explosion that's charged enough will knock her over, the Aerial Cross will knock her over, and the Shotgun will also knock her over. Really nice 2-cycle, that was sick. gaming is occurring. I was a little afraid it was going to switch in the middle there, but I think the fight was so fast it wasn't possible. Mission 10, the job, Steve Jobs even. Demon pre-reference. I'm just waiting on the switch. There it is. Oh, okay, we're good. I was kind of expecting DMC2 to be honest, but we take those. Didn't get hit. S rank still secure for now. Yay. So this is an interesting thing. I entered that door in a very specific way, and that's so that I guarantee I'm able to stinger jump out of there. This room has random enemy spawns, and if you get certain enemy spawns, if you don't enter the door perfectly, then you won't be able to stinger jump like that, and you'll have to walk. It's really slow. And that's because the doors in DMC1 actually like keep track of the angle that you entered in them at and put you out the other side at the same angle. So like if you're pitched way off to the left when you enter a door, when you go through the other side of the door, you'll still be pitched way off to the left. Unlucky. I had still locked on. Okay, there we go. Back to DMC2. That D rank there is actually bad. I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna have to adapt a little bit. We're trying to set up the orb manipulation, which if you don't remember, to do orb manipulation, you need to get several ranks in a row. We need E rank, then E rank, then D rank, then D rank, then A rank, then A rank. And then our next 10 kills will drop 10 times orbs. An E rank is basically like you just started combat, but you didn't get enough to get a D rank. It doesn't even show up on screen. So right there, I just got an E rank. Then you get 2 of those in a row. And then 2 D ranks in a row, and then 2 A ranks in a row. There's an auto scroller coming up. We're gonna be just like sitting inside of a train, waiting for it to get to the other end, and there's enemies inside. This is a perfect opportunity to set up orb manip because it doesn't matter how fast you kill them. It doesn't speed up the train. You could use that to build Devil Trigger, or not Devil Trigger. Use it to build orb manip and money. So there's 1 E rank. I should be able to get another one here. I got my ass beat. That's awesome. What's up, Mo? Howdy. What's up, Dior? I'm doing alright. Oh, I balked my controller. I really need to get a new cord. I should really do this with all 5 DMC games. God, that takes so long. I tried the new Monster Hunter game. I have literally never played Monster Hunter in my life. I'm probably never going to. These guys are called dual hands. They're mad annoying. You can only hit them from behind. Thankfully, those ones have scripted movement, so you can just like stand where they're gonna spawn. Just ruin their life. But that death animation takes a long time, and those doors don't open fast, so we can use that to build some roll guard that we're gonna use for some spiders later on. Back to DMC1, we're on mission 15. One of the longer missions in the run. At this point, all of the missions get a lot longer as we get into mid and late game. We have to choose between 2 pathways here, between the right or the left path. Both will get us to where we want to go, but this path is a lot faster. We're gonna use our first untouchable. Untouchables make you invincible for like 30 seconds and also give you unlimited Devil Trigger. So we're gonna use that actually to be able to not have to worry about the enemies while we vortex through that room. And I got my ass beat by butterflies, bro. The butterflies literally just destroyed me. All right, into the auto scroller. We're here to set up orb manip. So we got our 2 E ranks. Now we need 2 D ranks. Okay, now my 2D ranks. There's an A rank. Now I need another A rank. Oh god. Of course. Ironic that I stinger into a stinger transition. It is really hard to maintain rank in DMC2, so I think it's unlikely that I'm going to be able to save that. Alright. Literally the only fight in this level. Oh, that was sick. And I unplugged my controller again. Because I'm that guy, apparently, that keeps doing that. There we go, killed the first two. And then 3 more are going to spawn, but we're going to use a holy water on them. Because it's much faster. Thank you, sir. And touchable is the item that switches me to DMC2. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go. Didn't lose my rank. Okay, there's my 2A ranks. Now the next 10 kills I get will drop 10 times orbs. It's still important that I build my rank because I want 10 times from an S rank drop. And so now that I have an S rank and I have the orb manip, I just need to keep my S rank and get as many kills as possible. You'll see that I'm dropping way more orbs, in like thousands of orbs per kill. Because the 10 times orb bonus and the S rank bonus stack. I'm really happy I was able to get that. That's going to help a lot with the route. Oh god. Okay. I fixed it. So, Vortex is normally an attack that locks onto enemies and like tries to hit them with it. You know, you don't just like fly off into walls. But if you hold down the right trigger, you actually override the lock on. Similar to how it works in the DMC2. But it only works for some moves in this game. And Vortex is one of them. Vortex and Dive Kick, the only 2 moves where that works. Very, very useful. Otherwise, Vortex would be pretty much useless. We're coming up on our last Griffin boss fight here. As you may have guessed, bro's getting a bath. Opening up our Devil May Cry bird bath services. He doesn't quite die with 3 holy waters, so we need to get him out of his first phase by hitting him with some grenade gun shots. Very good. That can be quite messy. And then just 2 more holy waters will kill. Meanwhile, DMC2 is in the auto scroller still. Let me out! There we go. Making some really good progress. We're only an hour and 22 minutes in. We're over halfway done with DMC1. DMC2 we're about halfway done with. And DMC3 we're just about the halfway mark too. What's up, Togoa? Yes, I am. The game switches on random intervals. So I have no idea when the game is going to switch, but it does. All right, now into mission 11. Mission 11 and 12 and 13 are some of the hardest missions in this DMC3 speedrun. Mid-game is where things get really, really punishing. So we'll see how it goes. There we go, getting a reverse stinger. So you can actually stinger in any direction that you want in DMC3. However, you have to do a really complicated and difficult piece of tech called a reversal in order to do so. Basically, you can do the inputs for stinger, but then 1 frame after you press attack, you press lock on instead of doing it at the same time. And if you do that, then you can Singer in any direction you want, but it's literally frame perfect. It's super difficult. I don't have to imagine to go. It's happened. It's happened multiple times already. All right, mission 8. We are going to upgrade Vendetta. We got a new sword. Literally the exact same thing as before, except for this sword just does more damage, basically. It swings a little bit slower, but does more damage. We're gonna equip it. We also got the Flame Heart. The Flame Heart causes fire elemental damage, but also just way more damage than it's supposed to. It's actually bugged in the HD collection. It has a bug where it'll hit every single thing in the room at the same time, and also it has way more hitboxes for damage than it's supposed to. And so you can use that to just like hit stun override bosses and just completely stun lock them. Hey, Fury. It's a mod actually that Dan sent me. So someone else made the program. It just switches executables, or just switches like programs on your computer, so you can do it with any games. Hey, Fury. How you doing, dude? Okay, mission 16. Mission 16, very danger mission. How's my favorite boss? Nightmare. Nightmare makes things way more complicated. We're not going to be able to use holy waters on him. It's faster not to, but also it just makes things easier. Oh. And we're going to not use holy waters on him later. Not yet, Fate Fury. Here's hoping. So DMC 1 has 23 missions, DMC 2 has 18 missions, and DMC 3 has 20 missions. But the average completion time for a DMC 1 speedrun for me is like 44 minutes. The average completion time for DMC 2 speedrun for me is like 55 minutes. And the average completion time for DMC 3 is like an hour and 5 minutes for me. So it's likely that we'll finish those games in roughly that order. If that happens, then we're just gonna take them off the shuffler. Like if the game is done, we'll take it off the shuffler. Never miss a beat, bro. That was a perfect transition. Right into the attack I wanted. So yeah, that makes us, this is the exact halfway point in DMC 2, but the endgame missions get a lot shorter actually than the early ones. Because a lot of the endgame missions are literally just a boss fight. Like that last mission was. Whereas DMC 3 in mid-late game, and as well as DMC 1, the missions get longer. Okay. Now we are going to grab Offense Heart, which literally just makes us do more damage. Oh, also something I didn't mention before, but your hearts and your damage upgrades for your swords stack on Majin. So part of the reason we're upgrading them is because we want more damage from them, but when I do use Majin, like let's say I have Vendetta equipped, it'll do more damage than having Rebellion equipped, and it'll also do more damage if it's upgraded. Same thing with the Offense Heart. No, Sharpshooter, no changes. How you doing, dude? So in mid game for DMC 3 actually is like the hardest part for the switcher, because you can't guarantee that you'll be able to actually use your Devil Trigger explosion the way you want to. So you'll really start to see that on the wave clears here if we start switching. Or like accidentally use my Devil Trigger explosion early. Oh, there we go. Got my Offense Heart. Welcome back, B. Think of the grenade launcher. I'll need it. So I actually want to... No, I don't want to keep DT active. Oh. This is the classic Capcom escape sequence where they give you an escape and give you a timer. If you don't beat the timer, then the whole world's gonna explode and you'll die. But they give you like 15 years to escape. We're gonna escape with like 10 minutes left on the timer. Definitely classic Capcom. Okay, I deactivated DT there. That means I need to be careful because the game actually has a high chance of crashing if you activate DT in the room that I was in DMC2. So we're gonna steer clear of that, I think. Got my movement a little bit messed up there because of the switch. Anytime I'm switching and I'm like mid vortex, that's rough. So I can actually afford to use a Devil Star here, and using items does hurt your rank for the end of the mission rank. But because we're not going to use any other items in this mission and we're going to collect a lot of orbs, we'll actually build the S rank even though we use the item. And that extra Devil Trigger is going to help a lot for killing an enemy fast and also moving quickly. Yeah, basically sharpshooter. Okay, hardest boss quick kill in the entire game here. This is Beowulf. He has a weak spot on his eyeball, and literally just his eyeball. So we're going to try to do a gold release on his eyeball to kill him instantly and skip his last two phases. Let's soften them up with some jump cancels. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, dude. That's gaming right there. Right on the 130 mark. Huge. You lose like 40 seconds if you don't get that release. It's brutal. And then into probably the most difficult mission in the game for DMC3, mission 12. This shit is rough. There's a gimmick for it. You have unlimited Devil Trigger for the whole mission, but your HP slowly drains the whole time. That's not what makes it hard. What makes it hard is that there is a ton of tech on this level and a really hard boss fight to do fast. And we're gonna get a switch right as I'm trying to do the tech, I'm sure of it. Okay, not quite. That's actually a pretty good switch. I guess I'll explain it now because there's not much to explain here. We're just gonna end this mission. So in DMC3, there are waves of enemies and groups of enemies that spawn. And you can skip some groups of enemies by killing the enemies in a way that convinces the game that the entire wave is dead. So like groups are inside of waves. And so if you kill all of the enemies in a group on the right timing, you can cause the game to just skip extra groups and go right to the next wave instead. And you could do that twice on that gondola there. And so we're gonna try to kill a group of enemies at the exact same time so that we could skip extra enemy spawns. There's 2 of them there and they save like 10 seconds each. So whenever we get back there, I'll be trying to do that. But that's gonna be really hard if things switch in the middle of setting it up. But it does require a little bit of setup. So here in DMC2, we're heading into the Moth level. Mothula from Godzilla is here. After we activate that dial. But first we have Spooky Nighttime DMC1. So this introduces plasmas. They're an electric enemy that split apart, kind of like blood whales in DMC3. But not if you hit them with your sword. They split apart if you just like let them hang out for too long. They get completely decimated by the grenade gun. Even though you're using Alistair and it's electric damage on electric damage, 2 DT grenade shots and they just die. That's just over. Alright, we got Nightmare now. Nightmare, the hardest boss fight in the game. Very technical and very complicated. Basically, he has a solid form and a liquid form. And we're back on the despawns. Okay, so I gotta lock in here. So I want to kill the next 3 enemies all at the same time while that enemy on the carriage in the background is leaving. That'll trick the game into thinking that the waves are over, even though they're not. Oh, I'm doing it so bad. I think that was too slow. Yeah, it was. Damn. Okay, I have one more opportunity for it. So that would skip all of these lust spawns and this wrath spawn if I had gotten it. It's gonna be right to these slots, which then I'm going to get the easier despawn on, killing them while the wrath in the background despawns. That should be it. And now I'll just have these guys. Yeah, okay. That skipped another wrath spawn and also 2 more sloth spawns. Got one of the 2. That's not bad. All right, now towards the moth boss. Basically, this boss fight's going to be a moth that drops off these larvae, and the larvae can eat you. And the moth itself doesn't really even attack you, but it'll just continuously spawn larvae that will attack you if you don't kill it. But actually, the larvae eating you is kind of nice. So I'm going to let the larvae eat me, and then I'm going to wiggle free right as I get to Majin health, and then I can use Majin to kill the moth. I'm hoping it doesn't switch, like, right as I'm about to stick wiggle. Yeah, there we go. Cool. These are Vital Star, and then we can let ourselves get eaten and wiggle free early to kill the boss. It's the fastest way. Not me trying to deactivate DT on this mission. Okay, don't get back on the cart. I was supposed to block that rat's attack because I need Royal Guard sword up for the boss fight on this mission, so I'm gonna have to try to farm here a little bit. One more. Ah! This is fine. At least one more moth, or 2 more, 2 more. Oh, 2 more. I gotta kill the last one with DT. Cannot afford to die here. Okay, a Nightmare. So the Nightmare fight, he has 2 forms, a goop form and a solid form. You gotta make him solid by hitting the dials in the room. And then he, on cycles, will show 2 cores, either a top core or a back core. And this is the only way that you can damage him. The cores have 3 forms, blue, green, and red. And they have more damage resistance the further the forms are. The trick to the boss fight is, though, the core forms, they persist across all 3 boss fights. So you fight that boss 3 times, and the cores always start blue, but then they break to green and then break to red. And so, like, the top core there was blue, and then I broke it to green there. And so on the next fight, it's gonna start green. Which is kind of a problem. Ooh, I didn't buy... That's right, I was supposed to use Double Star. Gotta remember my own route. It's gonna start green. Which means that if I do the same strat again, it's gonna go red. And red has such high damage resistance that I'm not gonna be able to get a quick kill like that. So I have to do very precise strats to make sure I do exactly the right combos. Otherwise, when I get to the final fight on mission 20, it's gonna be like just a complete nightmare. No pun intended. Because he'll have way too much damage resistance and I'll get a bunch of extra phases and it'll be really slow. Yeah, sure, I can show you how I grip my controller. Really good room. Not the fastest nightmare ever. That is the fastest strategy for nightmare, yeah. Okay, Garion. Actually, I'm really happy with that switch. That switch is really nice. I did not want to switch mid-Garion fight. Garion is one of the harder fights in DMC 3. Cool, mission 17, we're gonna have the Nello 3 boss fight here, but also a bunch of other stuff. A new enemy introduced here, Frosts. They are weak to fire, obviously. Their name's Frost. So we're gonna switch to Ifrit and use the Holy Water to bait an attack. And you can charge your punches with Ifrit to make them do more damage, but you don't have to fully charge the punch to do max damage. There's 57 frames of animation on the punch combos. And you actually get the same damage on frame 50 as you do frame 57. So you can save like 7 frames, almost a tenth of a second, on every single punch just by releasing early, and you don't lose any damage. So here we're on the dinosaur before we crank that soldier boy and release something. We're gonna use Untouchable because we have a bit of downtime. And I am going to have to like instantly attack as soon as I switch back. Good lord. The Untouchable is used there so that we can get Devil Trigger for the entirety of the room. And if you leave a room with the Untouchable active, then you actually get full Devil Trigger for the next room as well. That's what we're trying to use it there for. That switch was really unlucky though, so I'm probably gonna get hit by the fireball. My controller unplugged. 1 second. I swear I'm not stalling. Alright, mission 11. Big purchase here. We buy another purple orb and a couple of devil stars. We have our first semi-rival fight in DMC2, Bulverick. He has some of the coolest boss mechanics, but also the worst cameras of all time. So we're gonna hopefully try to speed kill him before we even get any of the camera angle switches. That would be the ideal. Also, don't look at the floor in this room for too long. You may actually lose your mind. Oh my god, unlucky. So I'm definitely not gonna have my Untouchable active when I leave the room, but that's not the end of the world. Crank that, Dante. Bum, bum, bum. We wanted to have the Untouchable so that we could vortex over to this other side of the room and back, just to make the movement faster. And since you are waiting for the dragon to shoot a fireball at you, you pretty much don't lose any time doing it. But I'm definitely gonna run out midway through because the timer on it is really tight. You can only make that if you have like perfect movement, basically. That's okay, that was really easy to get it back. Alright, Nello boss fight. Actually has a new addition. We used to use 3 holy waters here, but now we only use 2. A little bit of adaptation required. Nice, I got the best RNG too. He ran over to me and she saves like a second. Oh. Okay, not that lucky then. He blocked the holy water. Look away! He didn't see that. Okay, we'll focus on Garion for now. We'll have to recover that when we get back. We're looking to get a release that hits both the carriage and the horse. So we can do a lot of stun and hopefully knock the horse over. And then he'll do a carriage spin, which we can then block and release the horse. And he's donezo. Goodbye, bro. I made that look really easy, but that's definitely one of the hardest boss fights in the game. That strategy is quite difficult. Took him to the glue factory. Bye-bye. Back to DMC2. We're hitting stuff. We're hitting things. Ah. Oh no, Indiana Jones. This Dante doesn't have a hat to forget. So, like in DMC1, there are some moves that you can only do in Devil Trigger, but they're not like special moves in DMC2. They're just kind of like normal combo extensions. Your normal combo extensions that you normally do just get altered slightly to have like super variations. So that's what that was there. That's million stab. And that actually hits more the more you press the button. So I was mashing there to get it to hit more. Oh, Bulwark. This is really good. Oh, that's... Hey, look. This guy's kind of like Bulwark. This is a terrible spot to switch. Also, yes, of course. I get iframed. It's okay. Get a no items loop. Fuck you, Nello. That's not a big deal. Yeah, the Bulwark and Nello Angelo switch, like, come on, man. Also, I'm literally in the middle of a perfect Bulwark fight, and it switches, dude. Come on, man. And then Dante's gonna switch lock on targets. Okay, well that's not too bad. It could have been worse. I still got some of the extra damage. I knew I was gonna lose the combo as soon as I switched. Ah, that's so bad. That's a good recovery. What's up, Shadows? Going pretty good. Been a good run. Yeah, Dante's struggling on the very corner of the camera, getting pushed against the edge of the camera border. Poor dude. This room really disorients people and makes them really confused whenever they play it, but it's actually super easy. You can pretty much just like hold to the right and double jump, and then you'll always homebreak at the right spot until you meet the cycle, and then you just jump straight up. DMC3, Mission 13. Quite a difficult one. We have the Virgil 2 boss fight, which I think is personally the hardest Virgil boss fight in the game. We're gonna be going for a quick kill on it. That's gonna cycle skip and not let Virgil ever activate Devil Trigger. But that relies on us having our Royal Guard be pretty much perfect and also to use our Devil Trigger explosion wisely, which might be difficult if the game decides it's gonna switch. Perfect timing for a switch, honestly. Because it's a speedrun together. Ouch. Thank you for helping me build DT. Okay, build enough DT. Now I can farm it. Oh god. Okay. I think I was in the middle of the attack, so I just need to mash attack when I get back. Please, game. Why are you like this? This is gonna be either a perfect switch or an awful switch. I can't tell. I'm not slowing down for a better switch though, so it's probably gonna be an awful switch. I'm probably gonna switch like right in the middle of the the boss fight. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Hey yo, really good recovery on Plutonian though. I can actually hold the DT button here, I think. Yeah, because I don't have any to activate. As long as I don't switch to DMC1, it'll be fine. I think I can just hold the DT button here, actually, and I won't lose. I don't remember what part of the combo I was in, though. This is Arius. Arius does not get to play the game. Never mind, yes he does. I'll take it back. Sir, come back! Thank you. Arius does not get to play the game. That is the shortest mission in all of Devil May Cry speedrunning. That can be beaten in as little as 6 seconds, actually. 7 seconds. Oh, wrong way. What's up, Garuda? Howdy. So mission 18 here, we got our last underwater section, thank God. Of course it's got scissors, the worst enemy of all time. But it does have my favorite boss, Nightmare. And this Nightmare iteration is the hardest, in my opinion, because it's going to do a little bit of tech that involves Ifrit and those charge punches that I was talking about. Okay, I didn't have enough DT for the Delta Trigger Explosion to actually do damage, which is good. I think I still got the cycle skip. That's pretty sick of so. So I need to do so much damage that he skips right from phase 2 to phase 3, which is exactly what happened. In phase 3, he deactivates his DT, so. Oh, the stylish finish. That was really good. That was a good fight. I even got the C-cycle. Or the cycle skip, rather. And the S rank. Let's go, dude. Gaming is occurring. Don't you use Devil Star on Plutonia? Yeah, you would normally, but I didn't get the orb manip on mission 1. And so I want to make sure I have enough orbs for stuff at the end of the game. What's up, Tata? How you doing, dude? Orb route wasn't perfect, so. Gotta make up for it. That's the easiest way to do so, is to not use Devil Star on Plutonium. Doing solid. My least favorite mission in DMC2 incoming. It's because of this tech, actually. I hate kick canceling. So there's a thing you can do in this game called a kick cancel. Doing it right now. If you hold the gun button and then press the melee button intermittently, you can actually juggle infinitely. There's no jump canceling in this game, unlike in DMC1 and DMC3. but you can use the little lunge from trying to shoot to maintain your height, to be able to actually juggle kicking in the air for pretty much forever. It's only really useful for like that dial and maybe a couple of other super niche things, but it is super useful for that dial, because if you don't do it on that dial, you have to do this long series of like jump and helm breakers. It's a nightmare. That's a little cool piece of added tech. This room, for whatever reason, enemies hate wall running. You wall run there, they just despawn. They just literally just disappear. Very convenient. Makes it a lot easier to hit this. We need to hit 3 of these so that we can open the door, so we can go fight Phantom, which who knows why, but he's in this game. Doesn't even have a line of dialogue. Dante already killed Phantom like 3 times at this point, and he just shows up and neither of them say a word. They just do business. All right, this is gonna be difficult. I think the switch might happen in the middle of the boss fight. I'm hoping not. Egg. Got the egg. I'm gonna vortex his dial so the fight starts with him in his solid state. Then switch to Ifrit and try to build DT as fast as possible. Nice. Good one cycle. In order to get enough damage there to kill in one cycle, you have to really cut the charges on your punches short. So the timing on that's really tight, but that was really good. Definitely take those. So the amount of damage that the core takes that causes it to change colors is based on hits taken, not damage done. Which means that because I did a bunch of really like slow charged hits that do a lot of damage, I didn't break the top core to red. It's actually going to be green in the next fight. And I haven't touched the back core at all, so it's also going to be blue. Which is really dope. Stoked for that. That means that the third fight will be as easy as it possibly could be. Well, not quite. It would be a little bit easier if the top core was also blue, but we're not even going to fight the top core. We're only going to use the back core. If that boss grabs you when it's in its liquid form, you'll fight a different boss on the inside, which will do a ton of damage and also reset the core health. But that's really slow, so in the speedrun we don't do that. Oh! Back to DMC2, I guess. So here's one more of these that we have to hit to open the door. There's one more that's around the corner as well. I guess I lied, there's 4 of them, not 3. Override lock on there, we're coming in huge. The last one's way up in the air, and there's a bunch of mages around it, so if we want to break it without killing all the mages, we need to do some round trips in the air. So we're gonna use the Devil Star for that. And there is a bug with the Flame Heart that's going to cause some problems, so I'm going to switch over to the Electro Heart if I get to play the game. Stop raiding. No crashes. So mission 19 is a really straightforward mission. There's only one fight on it. We're gonna fight a bunch of nobodies here. New enemies. They are really, really tanky. But the grenade gun does 3 times damage to them actually, instead of 2 times damage. And we can make it so that with the 1 holy water, we can kill them all and refill our DT really fast. This will make it so that we can still actually collect enough orbs to be able to get an S rank even though we use the holy water. And we build enough DT so that we're going to be able to vortex across the bridge later. Dual hands, please. Thank you. Mission 14 is the mission that has the most potential for time save for most DMC3 runners because a lot of little combat cycles that save a ton of time if you get them. I'll try my best to get them, but because they rely on using double trigger explosion, if the game switches at any point, then I'm like pretty boned. That was a really conveniently timed switch. You should learn how to cross the bridge without using Vortex Sakatibi. It's not that hard. It's like 3 singers and a jump. No, I wasn't able to, Jesse. But I am today, hopefully. We're about 2 hours here going into mission 20 in DMC 1. Only 3 missions left. Got our nice S rank there. Gonna buy a purple orb. Refills our double trigger. It's gonna allow us to instantly vortex and go right to the boss. Another nightmare fight. Remove him from his goop form instantly with some vortex and then try to build DT. Electro Heart. That's what I'm here for. Also, I totally switch weapons when I shouldn't. I'm getting so used to these no damage strats. It's okay, I can recover that. There we go. Really clean. Orb break. Slow to not vortex the bridge? Yeah, but if you don't have DT, it's slower to use a Devil Star. Here we are, Phantom. Ow. He wants revenge for what we did to him in DMC 1 earlier, I guess. Later, buddy. All right, time for, in my opinion, the hardest mission in DMC 2, mission 15. This mission is literally just an extended combat encounter. It has a timer. If you don't kill all the enemies in time before the timer runs out, you have to restart the whole mission. It's the hardest because you can go really, really fast in this mission if you use Majin to do cycle clears, but that Majin setup is really difficult. We're gonna go for it, obviously, when we get back to that. That was actually a really good time for a switch. But instead, we're on some really difficult combat in DMC 3. There's a trend with this run, I suppose. But there's just difficult combat all over the place. Who would have guessed in a DMC run? The set of rooms is all about managing your resources, managing the Devil Trigger, managing Royal Guard. It's all planned out pretty methodically. Where you're gonna taunt, where you're gonna use DTE, where you're gonna release. I missed my opportunity there. Yep, that's rough. Okay. Lock in, streamer. I don't know if I have a gold orb, but I guess it doesn't matter. I don't think I do. Can we use the door to build up Majin? I'm really hoping that these enemies don't drop health. He just did. That's unfortunate. Now my Majin setup's going to be messy. Be really, really careful. Now I have a really awkward amount of health where I need to get hit by something, but like... Alright, I guess I'm doing top core. This will work too. Oh, damn, I just barely missed it. I undercharged one of the punches. That's fine, not a big deal. Parry the attack. What a terrible spot to be switching at. I'm afraid to take damage. I need to take damage from something, but okay, that works. The thing that sucks about getting the green orb there, especially, is that I don't know. I know how many times I need to get hit by the door with default health, but I don't know how many times I need to get hit by the door without default health. I was supposed to be trying to build up my my style so that I get an S rank when I kill these enemies. Because when you have an S rank, when you kill enemies, it's more likely that they drop white orbs to give you more double trigger. I'm in modern range, which is really good, but I need to build DT. Please, sir, give me DT. Yeah. That's not good. I lost all my DTE because of the switch. It's all good. Gonna fight these guys normally, no big deal. Give them a little stomping. Later, nerds. I have backup saves, yeah. I didn't have backup saves yesterday, but I have backup saves now. Excuse me, sir. Pardon me. I'm like in the middle of the boss fight on Nightmare, aren't I? I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure I'm like a dead center in the middle of the Nightmare boss fight right now. Oh, don't die. Oh, white orbs. I can imagine again. Never punished. Whew, okay. All good. The white orb drop was clutch. That's what we were hoping to do earlier, is that as soon as we got done with the previous one, we'd instantly get Majin again because of the white orb drops. We couldn't guarantee it because of the switch, but that was good. The back-to-back on the Majin is huge. All right, mission 15. The most annoying, everyone's least favorite mission in DMC 3. A lot of that is due to these guys falling. They're pretty bad enemies, but we have a good strat here. That makes them pretty consistent and fast. It's basically just abusing the door to build a lot of guard and use that on the fall. It's a good fight. Now we're gonna have to go all the way around the tower and grab a bunch of different items so that we can activate that elevator that we just passed by and go on to the next mission. It's a big fetch question mission. This is why people don't like it very much. There are these dials that make the mission a bit of a maze, these ones. When you hit them, they change the arrangements of where those doors in the background send you. And so you have to explore the whole area and get all the pieces. Fortunately, we actually can skip quite a bit of it by doing a specific door arrangement. But we'll see when we get back there. There's only 18 missions in DMC2, so we're coming out quite on the end here on mission 16. We're gonna fight a boss in this mission, or two bosses actually. We're gonna fight another Bulwark fight and then Trismagi at the end of the mission. We're hopefully gonna be setting up Majin for both of them. These elevators are auto-scrollers and they're the perfect spot to set up Majin because there's just a bunch of enemies and you're on a timer anyway, so. Very, very scary though. One of the more nerve-wracking parts of the run because you really don't want to die. But you need to get, you know, significantly hurt. That's an okay time to switch, actually. So by doing 2, 1, 2, 2 on the switches, we'll actually skip what would normally be a required spider fight, and then there will be no required combat on this level at all. There is, however, going to be an instance where we're really glad we're playing on gold mode because it's a death warp. We're going to be setting up damage on purpose so that we will die after collecting one of the pieces. Because backtracking after collecting the piece is a lot slower than just dying and teleporting. Ouch. Otherwise, completely optional combat on this mission. Rare for DMC3, really rare. My nose is so itchy, I hate it. So now we're gonna start taking damage on purpose here, so that when we get to that death warp, that's what we want. There is normally a third phase to this nightmare fight, but we're gonna use a holy water and it's gonna do so much damage that it just skips that third phase entirely. When that health bar goes to 0, there's usually a second miniature health bar that comes out, but we're like, nah, we don't play with that. Alright, mission 21. We got to break this lock from across the room with the grenade gun, so we open up this door, and it's gonna let us into the flesh tunnels that have all the tentacles. We gotta avoid them. We're hopefully looking for no damage on this mission, so we get the S rank, and don't have to collect any of the orbs from the nobodies. And we're gonna do a masterclass in DT management with the grenade gun here. 2 DT grenade guns, 2 DT grenade guns, and a stinger. And then we can actually taunt the dead body of the nobody to get DT back. Even though you normally can't do that in DMC1. I missed it there. Not the end of the world. The nobody's death animation actually changes depending on where they died from and if they're big or small. They have these masks on. And if you break the mask, then they get small, and that animation is faster. Just like that. So if you kill them and then instantly taunts, you could do it fast enough so that the game thinks that it's still alive when you're taunting, and you get your DT back, which is pretty huge. Hey, Chris. Alright, this is where we're setting up for the death warp, but we need to hit this button twice, the dial. And we need to go collect the item in the other room and then die. If we die before we collect the item, then we'll have to go back through this room. Really bad. I have plenty of health though, we're fine. I have not finished DMC1 yet, actually. I'm on 21. The switching has been pretty even this time, actually. And now we want to die, so that we can teleport back up to the previous room and get to avoid doing that platforming, because that platforming is really bad without air hike or a double jump. Three things we need for the elevator. Boom, we're on to mission 16. I'm in the middle of an elevator on mission 16 as well on DMC2, setting up Majin. There it is. Hey, look, perfect Majin setup, calculated. Cool. That works. I was a little bit afraid. I thought I was gonna die as soon as I came back in. But that stun was really well timed. Thank you, game. Oh. If you get hit by those balls, you have to do an extra combat encounter, and it's super, super slow. Especially because we already have Majin set up. We are trying to save Majin for the Bulwark fight that's coming up. Hey, Putash. How you doing, Thane? Good to see you. Excuse me, sir. So up in this next room, we got the coolest trick in DMC1, Cosmo Climb, invented by the homie Cosmic. We're basically going to use the auto-targeting from Vortex to make it so that we are vortexing upwards, and then we're going to manually override it so that we can continue to go that way, even though the enemy's not there. And we can just fly to the top of this room and skip all the platforming. Really cool. And then all we have left are the final two missions for DMC1. Moondis on 22, and then just the escape sequence on 23. Pretty mellow. Got the no damage. There's my S rank. Okay, do not get hit. Activate Majin for Bulwark. He is off camera. Please don't parry me. Okay, cool. Good fight. I am going to go grab... I was going to say, I'm going to go grab that green orb, which I still might, but I think there was a white orb in that death file. Mission 16, kind of a gimmicky mission. Start out by hitting some balls together. Everyone's favorite puzzle. And then we fight Fallen, everyone's favorite enemy. Thankfully, we don't actually have to fight them. We have enough money stored up that we can just dump a holy water on them. We're actually going to use 2 holy waters in this mission. It's really rare that you use them in DMC3, but this mission we just dumping holy waters left and right because the enemies that we get are really, really slow. We're not going to do it right away in the next room though, because there's actually one more enemy that we need to kill. If we do it right away, then a bunch more enemies will spawn. But if we kill this guy and then holy water, then we'll kill all the enemies in the room at once. Yeah. We need to set up Majin again, so it's kind of nice having low health, but as you saw in the elevator, you get your ass beat real quick, so even though we're going to set up Majin again, it's better to get our max HP again and then have it go down. Instead of risking dying. This one's a little bit harder to get Majin in because there is a goat that we need to kill as well. And we don't want the goat alive because it'll make it a lot less predictable. The enemies do infinitely respawn, so it's not a huge deal, but Dante, please lock onto the goat. Yeah, thank you. Trismagia is a very, very slow boss fight without Majin, so Definitely want to make sure we have it. Okay, that's good. There's a green orb here. This green orb is evil. Whoever put that there, evil developer. I have spent so many times in my speedrunning career of that game accidentally picking up that green orb and not having Majin for Trismagia because of it, and it is so rough. Alright, Mundus, the final boss, DMC 1. For some reason, the director Kamiya decided parry or shoot 'em up section for this boss. Lord knows why. I don't know. It's awful. But anyways, by starting off with a purple orb, we can have a really big dragon. And I can't seem to tab into the game, so I'm gonna have to match with a controller. Fun. I usually play this part on keyboard. It's a little bit easier to match, but it's fine. Get the Toho section. When you activate Devil Trigger, you get to use this big dragon that does a ton of scripted damage. And, oh! Tell me I didn't DT. Okay, we're good. That would have been really bad if I accidentally Majined. So, Trismagia. There's 3 heads here, and only one of them can take damage at a time. So we gotta figure out which head it is. It is that head. Okay, and then I can use Majin to do massive damage. But I want to make sure that I end with the laser because the fireballs themselves are not enough damage. That's quite the time to switch. So Trismagia is not dead. He survives at 1 HP and you have to dodge 1 more attack, so that fight is not over. Good RNG for Mundus. The lava here does damage over time, but it can't kill you. So as long as I don't get hit by any of Mundus's actual attacks, I won't die. We're kind of praying to RNGesus there a little bit, but it's really, really consistent. Nice fight. There goes Mundus down. That's the last rank there too, because I didn't use any items. And boom, we're almost done with DMC 1. Just 1 mission left. And once again, a huge countdown timer that we have to escape from. No biggie. Oh yeah. I keep getting switched in the middle of pause menus and I'm like confused, like where am I? Coming up, we're gonna get introduced to another chess piece enemy. There are a whole chessboard actually of variations of enemies. These ones are the rooks. We fought the knights and the bishops before already, but not the rooks. On mission 18, we're gonna get to fight a whole chessboard. Oh, he jumped and is out of range. Okay. We're good. I just need to make sure that I time the roll here to not die. And then Trismagia will be donezo. Cool. Only 2 more missions for DMC 2 as well. DMC 1 and 2 coming to close at a pretty similar time. At 17. Spend a bunch of money to buy some stuff. Okay, that's good. I was hoping that it would switch. I need to build Royal Guard here on these rooks so that I can take it into the lady boss fight. If I don't, then that fight's going to be very slow. Okay. Small Devil Star. Actually, that's supposed to be a large Devil Star. It's okay though. Clip the Flame Heart because we need to stun him. This is the last Arius boss fight. We're gonna hopefully stun lock the dude with round trips. He got away. Unlucky. Supposed to use a large Devil Star, so I did mess up there a little bit. Get some DT, huh? Excuse me, ma'am. I have a boss to go fight. He's over here sipping gin and juice. I was teleporting all over the place. He hates me. It's like I hate these nobodies. That's my bad. I totally used the wrong Devil Star. If I used the large Devil Star, that would have been fine. But now I have a bit of a cursed fight there. It'll make the next mission easier though that I did that. So a little safety. Oh, back to DMC2. There we go. My dream! My life! Okay. Just the final boss left. Well, the two final bosses. One mission. Mission 18. What's my money looking like? Can I afford to buy anything else? Yes. Okay. Cool. And we have our gold orb, which is really nice. So we're going to use that gold orb here. Because whenever you die and use a gold orb, you get full DT. That's going to be very useful here. Because basically we're on a refight of like all the previous bosses, but all at the same time. Ah! So we're going to try to use our round trip as much as possible to kill all of the bosses, and then hopefully set up Majin for the actual final boss at the end. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. So this is the final Mundus fight. It's kind of a joke. You can literally just Vortex, and spamming the Vortex button does so much damage that you kill him before he even gets to attack. And then...
It looks like we have a winner.
Jackpot.
Rip Bozo. See you later, homie. And we're basically done with DMC 1. The only thing that we have left is the plane ride. If you hold down on the right stick with the plane ride, you actually go faster. It saves 10 seconds. I have received a world record before and not known that. That was a good time. But we just gotta fly right to the end of this cave. And then that's it for DMC 1. It's done, so. GG. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, Chris, now. Oh, I can't quite take DMC 1 out of the rotation yet. We're not done. There's still like a cutscene to skip. Ah, Dante, please. We're definitely gonna finish DMC 1 and 2 much before we finish 3. The luck of the draw, I suppose. I mean, it's on average it's gonna happen, but the switching seemed pretty even. Oh. I punched Lady so hard I went to DMC 1. Alright, GG. DMC 1's done. What was my in-game time? Hey, sub 40. Let's go. Okay, now. Page down. So DMC 1 should be out of the rotation now. This is Argosax. We are hopefully going to use Argosax's final form with the Griffin to build Majin for the actual final boss. I'm going to use my Smell of Fear. Smell of Fear lets you take... Oh god. Ah!
Alright.
That works. All good. I'm skipping a phase here with Lady. Normally there's a phase where she jumps up on the rafters and will not come down. And it's really, really slow. So by doing enough damage with that stored release, we actually can make her just skip that phase entirely and just stay on the ground and fight me. Where she obviously stands no chance. It's a good save. Alright, mission 17. I am like really anxious for the switch. Because the switch is really important. This is in the middle of the fucking boss fight. No, do slash. Not worth. Bro, it's gonna happen any second now. I'm terrified. Thank God I got the Smell of Fear, actually. Smell of Fear saved my ass. Cool. Smell of Fear was super clutch. Alright, so now this is perfect because when I go to the next boss fight, I'm gonna have Majin right off rip. Laser, please. Nice, GG. That's it for DMC 2. 232, damn. It's really good. All that's left is DMC 3 now. GG's basically. Turn the shuffler off. That's fun. So I got DMC 3 left to go. This is a bonus spike room. It's reminiscent from mission 6 because it's literally the same room, but it gets a little bit upgraded. Still quite easy. Now that we don't have to worry about the game switching, I can more reliably do some of these wave clears actually, like this one. Requires double trigger explosion to go maxed out so you can kill all 3 of those guys at once. What's up, YouTube, dude? How you doing? That's a shop. So there's actually 6 styles in this game. 4 of them you get at the start, but you only ever use Royal Guard out of those 4. And then you get Quicksilver and Doppelganger. Quicksilver from beating Garion on mission 12, and Doppelganger from beating Doppelganger on 17 right here, this guy. A really new addition to the run is that we're actually going to be using the Doppelganger style on mission 19. I haven't grabbed any orb ores, and I haven't really been stressing too much about my money across the run. And that's because of the new Doppelganger shroud on 19. I'm excited to show that off. It's pretty cool. It's the one time in DMC3 history that you ever use a different style besides Royal Guard. It's a bit of a shame that that DMC3 is just like longer than the other 2. The other 2 finished at like the same time. I suppose I could ask the mod author to maybe make it so you could wait the games so that DMC3 gets played a little bit more often and you finish around the same time. But I didn't have time to do it quite yet, so maybe in the future. So 18, good old DMC boss rush, but also adds new bosses. Chessboard that I was mentioning before, actually eviscerated. By using a holy water, you get the king to be vulnerable instantly. Otherwise, you have to wait a really long time for all the other pieces to start dying before you can even attack the king. But if you do it like that, then you can just instantly attack the king, and once the king is dead, everything just ends. We're gonna switch to Agni and Rudra because this is the boss rush. There is a slew of bosses that you can fight here, but most of them are optional. You only need to make a circle on the board that we'll see after we beat this boss. And the smallest possible circle can be made with 3 bosses: Agni and Rudra, Cerberus, and Beowulf. All 3 of those bosses, well, at least 2 of them, are really, really weak to Agni and Rudra. So Agni and Rudra is the go-to. We keep Beowulf equipped because we're going to need Beowulf equipped for 19 anyways. And we don't really need Stinger for movement here. And also Beowulf, while in DT, makes all of your attacks do like extra damage, like an extra 5% damage. So we're going to use that on the Agni and Rudra fight here. So when we do the release in DT with Beowulf, it'll do extra damage, more so than it would if we had Rebellion equipped. That little bit of extra damage is nice. I didn't quite get the fight I wanted, close though. Pretty solid. Last chance we get another quick kill. That'd be tight. Damn. Woo. There's some sick GCs. Yeah, so that creates a circle on the board, which means we can just leave. Later. Alright, so now we get the cool shit. Cool new stuff. Get to do Mission 19 Doppelganger strats. So we're actually going to switch styles here to Doppel. We'll switch back to Royal Guard for Mission 20, but... And then we're also going to get Rebellion back instead of Agni and Rudra. And... buy 3 Holy Waters. Normally we'd be buying 4, but with the Doppel strat we can afford to only do 3. Which is the big difference here. Only buying 3 Holy Waters there makes it so that the money route is way more affordable throughout the rest of the game. But we do lose out on those animation cancels and the ability to store up charge. We do get the ability in return though to create a duplicate of ourselves that does the same attacks we do, essentially doubling our DPS. Which is why Doppelganger is really good for stuff like this mirror fight. And for Arkham. Ah, he dove. Unlucky. So we're not going to be able to animation cancel our stingers the same way we used to and that kind of thing, but the movement is so minimal and you do so little stuff on this mission that it doesn't actually matter. You lose a little bit of time, but that time is made up by the rest of the game, not having to grab the extra orbs and stuff. So Arkham has these phases where he goes underwater, underground, and has all the these dolphins come out of the ground, and you have to wait for those dolphins to all die. But we don't want that. That's really slow. Oh, I was supposed to buy 2 Devil Stars. I'm trolling. That's really slow. So instead, we want to kill him right now. Is it faster to do it here or there? Probably there. XD. That's why I had all the extra money. Dummy. But if we had done it right, I had another Devil Star to use there, and then I would have been able to get him to half health before this phase happened. And then we would jump right to the second phase where we could kill him quickly with Virgil. That's fine though. Not a huge time loss. Now we have Virgil. Virgil takes away our ability to use styles. And also Devil Trigger. So he makes things a little bit scary. No. No, that's so bad. Well, looks like we're fighting him normally. That is actually tragic. And that's why he sucks, because you can't use ETD heal. Yeah, all the items are gone because I used them all. So I just have to fight Arkham Vanilla. It's gonna take forever. Oh, ouch. Yeah, I probably should have switched to Killian Ann. That's fine though. Only I didn't. Only I didn't accidentally forget to buy Devil Star. Bro, I died. Rip. Okay, let's buy this. Buy some of you. And let's equip that. Make this easier for myself. God, yeah, that makes it so much easier. Thank you. Hello, shoot it. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, and the second phase of Virgil acts as your doppelganger. Which is good and bad. This guy's upsides. The upside is you get to do it all the time, right? You don't really have to use DT for it, but the downside is you don't have the option to use DT either. Thank you. Yeah, one more cycle, I figured. There's a reason we use holy waters here. They ain't for fun. Oh, I don't have the... There we go. Oof. Oof, ouch, ooey. Yeah, man. I really got punished for forgetting to buy the Devil Star. You know, I was forgetting to buy a couple things throughout the run, though, so, like, I'm not surprised that I eventually got punished. Ah, there we go. Yes, no, this is correct. Hey Virgil, we're gonna do what we did on the second Virgil boss fight, which is to hopefully do so much damage that we skip his double trigger phase entirely. Get him to about 40% health. GG. There it is, 247. That's not bad. That's DMC 1, 2, and 3 at the same time, but it randomly switches. 247. That's not bad. What's my trilogy record, anyways? What happened next? I don't know. We gotta find out. That 19 was really rough, unfortunate, and it sucks that the other games like finished so much earlier. But that was a solid. That's fun. Let's see. Where's my... Because that's 247 real time, right? Where is my... Omicron series? Trilogy any percent? PB is a 229. What about real time? 236? That's only like 11 minutes slower than my world record for like 1, 2, 3 back to back. And I probably lost like 4 or 5 minutes on Arkham, so that was pretty good. Good runs all the way around. That was fun. It's a bit unfortunate that DMC3 is just longer than the other ones.
We took care of all the remaining devils.
I could handily do that under 3 hours though. It's like not a problem. Maybe like under 250 even is like super doable. If I practice more DMC2 and more DMC3, then under 240 even, probably.